After decades in silence, Yong-soo Lee has found her voice, demanding an apology from Japan for war crimes it has long denied.
Have you not seen this before?
At just 14, she was one of thousands of South Korean girls forced into sexual slavery for the Japanese military. They called them comfort women.
끝까지 결혼 안 하고 일본하고 싸우려고.
She's taking her campaign to South Korea's presidential candidates, the ones who could force Japan to face history. But her struggle has struck nerves deep in Korean culture, among those who prefer to blame and shame the victims. At 92, her time to get justice is running out, and both sides know it.
성부와 성자와 성령의 이름으로 아멘.
Until the 1990s, when a few brave South Korean women revealed the truth of what Japan did in World War II, it had been kept a dark secret. Ever since, it's created a tension and resentment between the two nations. Most of the women, known affectionately as the grandmas, have now passed away. But I've come to Daegu to meet one of the last survivors. Grandma Yong-soo Lee.
Grandma Lee. Hello. How are you? Nice to see you.
Grandma Lee wants Japan to admit it forced Korean girls like her into sexual slavery. But after 30 years in which diplomacy has failed, she's pushing for a new, high-stakes strategy to go to the International Court of Justice.
ICJ는 꼭 가야 돼요. 진짜 사죄 받기 위해서 지금까지 죽을 때까지 끝까지 할 겁니다. 이웃 나라, 약한 나라를 다 일본이 피해자가 많아요. 그 피해자들도 회복시킬 거예요. 명예회복이 되도록 할 거예요. 아이고.
A younger generation of activists has been inspired to help the grandmas.
아이고 이쁘게 입으셨네.
예.
그래 앉으세요.
예.
Phyllis Kim is here to help prepare for a press conference tomorrow, in which Grandma Lee will call on the South Korean government to push Japan towards settling this in court.
She has a statement, so we want to go over the statement with her.
So what is Grandma Lee going to be announcing tomorrow?
She has been advocating for the Korean government to get the final confirmation from the international body that the comfort women issue was actually a war crime and crime against humanity led by a government during World War II, which Japanese government is denying. 오늘 같이 읽어보고
좀 세게 하고 싶어요.
네, 어떤 말씀을 하고 싶으세요? She wants to add some stronger plea to the president. There are only 13 survivors left in South Korea. Something has to be done before she goes.
발걸음이 발걸음이 더 이상 더디기 전에.
I'm sorry to ask this. Are you upset writing this because of what happened to you or because time is running out?
그거지요. 제가 얘기했잖아요. 발걸음이 더디진다. 제가 숨쉬고 아침에 일어나면 살았는가 보다 하는 생각 항상 너무 서러워요.
From the 1930s to the end of World War II, It's estimated the Japanese Imperial Armed Forces coerced or tricked around 200,000 women and girls into sexual slavery from occupied territories across the Asia-Pacific region. They were euphemistically called comfort women, often taken abroad to comfort stations wherever the soldiers were. The survivors called it mass abduction and rape. Grandma Lee's childhood home is long gone now, and her memories are patchy, but she clearly remembers the nearby underpass where at just 14 years old, she was lured by a Japanese man to join other Korean girls. She says she didn't realize what was happening until it was too late.
뒤에 군인 뒤에 덩어리다가 뭐가 거다가 확 이렇게 대면서로.
Where were they taking you?
그래 이제 이래 가가지고 서울로 역으로 갔어요. 대구역으로. 그래서 그냥 기차 타니까 막 머리도 아프고 어지럽고 막 이렇게 토하고 이래서 내가 안 간다 했어요. 안 간다 하니까 군인이 머리를 하고 발길도 팍 차고 이래가지고 내가 막 토하고 막 이래 울면서.
Did you have any idea what was happening to you? Had you heard about girls being taken away?
전혀 없었어요. 몰라요. 그러니까 장난인 줄 알았죠. 장난인 줄 알았었는데 기차를 타고 보니까 때리고 막 조센지기를 하고 하니까 그 장난이 아닌 줄 알았어요.
In fact, the girls were on an unimaginable journey, by train and then ship, to a Japanese base in Taiwan via Shanghai. It is too distressing for Grandma Lee to go into detail about what happened, and she's given her testimony to the lawyers. But she wants the world to know what Japan has to apologize for. So she's asked me back to her home to tell me what she can. It is a harrowing story of the physical, sexual and psychological abuse of a child.
이제 얼마나 상해서 있었는지 모르는데 어느 날 이제 그 배가 이제 가기를 시작했어요. 내가 막 토하고 머리도 아프고 해서 기해 가지고 화장실을 갔어요. 이래 일어서려고 이렇게 보니까 군인 구두가 이렇게 보이더라고요. 그래서 또 이렇게 보니까 군인이 못 나오고로 화장실에 이렇게 딱 막더라고요. 그래서 군인 팔을 크게 물었는 기억이 나요. 그런데 이 사람이 여기를 때리는 그거는 났는데 그 다음 전 몰랐어요. 그러니까 이 언니들이 와서 보니까 피가 투식이 돼가지고 이렇게 쓰러져가 있었어요. 그래서 담요를 이렇게 들치고 보니까 내가 이렇게 보니까 언니들한테 막 달려들어요. 그때까지도 난 그 뭐 왜 그래 달려주는 몰랐어요.
Every Wednesday for the last 30 years, there's a protest outside the Japanese embassy demanding an apology. The statue here of a Korean girl is a source of diplomatic tension because the Japanese want it removed. Grandma Lee used to come regularly, but she's stopped. The protest has become a magnet for fringe groups in South Korea's culture wars, with counter-demonstrators who refuse to believe the women, claiming they were just prostitutes. Among the opponents of the grandmas and their campaign is Seok-chun Yu. He was a professor at Yonsei University, but is now indicted and facing trial for uttering a falsehood after giving a lecture arguing that the women were not sexual slaves, but paid prostitutes.
So do you think the women are lying when they say what happened to them?
When they first came out to tell so-called truth, the story they told then and the story they are telling now is completely different. The most important two issues on this matter is whether they are enforced
Yes.
or voluntary. Another one is they are slavery or paid prostitution.
Mr. Liu and other opponents say they found inconsistencies in the details of testimony given by women over the last 30 years and believe Japan enforced rules on the age of so-called comfort women.
But if you're a 14-year-old child and you are being...
The age itself is already
Well, hang
not
on.
true.
In the case of Yong-soo Lee, she says she was 14 when it happened. You can't say she wasn't.
I don't believe that.
Why don't you believe her?
There are a lot of Japanese military documents saying that we recruited these people from pimp, and the military document is saying that those pimp cannot bring any lady under 17 years.
And you think the pimps asked these young women, these young girls, how old are you?
Directly to her or their parents.
Are you not ashamed to call a 92-year-old woman a liar?
Liar is liar, whether it's a 1 year old or 92 years old. Liar is liar.
Back in Daegu, Grandma Lee is about to hold a major press conference. She's going to call on the South Korean president to back a new way of breaking the stalemate with Japan.
It's a constant struggle for Grandma Lee and her supporters to try and get Japan to the International Court of Justice. That requires Tokyo's cooperation and agreement. But in the interim, they're trying to increase the pressure for that to happen. So today, they are calling on the South Korean government to refer this whole matter to a United Nations committee that specializes in torture.
문재인 대통령님, 안녕하십니까? 이용수입니다. 해결할 수 있도록 해결해 주세요. 간절히 부탁합니다. 저는 안 잊겠습니다. 이 말을 문재인 대통령님이 꼭 하시도록 저는 하루 종일 아침 저녁으로 문재인 대통령 이름을 부르겠습니다. 꼭 해주세요. 하셔야 됩니다.
Phyllis, when you look at Grandma Lee crying into a video conference, do you not think there is a, you know, the most cynical politician will go, just sit this out, this is going to go away?
It was a state-led, institutionalized sexual slavery, and it was one of the largest cases in the 20th century. And it's not the thing of the past. So even if all the victims pass away, I don't think this issue will go away because people are waking up.
Do you ever worry that you may be giving her false hope?
She really wants to get resolution while she's alive so that she can go to heaven and tell other victims that, hey, I resolved this.
The press conference is being held in a museum about Japan's wartime sexual slavery. Its newest exhibit is a jaw-dropping installation about many of those who dared to say, "Me too."
아이고,
Have you not seen this before?
와. 문옥주, 미얀마에 있었는 사람이에요.
What do these women mean to you?
어떤 의미로 하는 것보다도 참 불쌍한 사람들이지. 아이고.
Have all these women passed away?
다 돌아갔어. 다 돌아갔었어. 이거는 살았고.
Why are they dressed up as brides?
또 결혼 안 했는 사람은 신랑 없이 한번 이제 명산포 한번 써보고 그랬어요. 나도 혼자 명산포 쓰고 찍었는 거 많은데 이거 없네.
Is that one of the greatest sadnesses? That you couldn't get married and have children and have a family of your own?
근데 결혼했는 사람 많지. 대략 보면 다 결혼했는데 나만 안 했어요. 끝까지 결혼 안 하고 일본하고 싸우려고.
Grandma Lee wants all the survivors to join her fight for justice, but not all of them want to. We're on our way to meet Grandma Park, the only other known survivor in this part of South Korea still alive.
타는데 연기나 불서 나고요. 아따 드디어 왔다. 아이고 싫어. 누가 언니 왔다. 동생아 언니 왔다. 여기서 언니 아이가. 그래 잘했었나?
잘했었다.
잘했었나 그래.
예상다 됐나? 진짜 머리기다. 여기 와도 후룩한더니 머리다.
Is this the place you came from? Is this where you grew up?
그래.
It's a beautiful place.
이곳에 나와가지고 일본한테 붙들려 갔나?
그래. 이 꼴짝에.
일본한테 붙들려 갔을 적에?
그래.
몇 살에?
열몇 살인데.
In this part of Korea, you two are the last two women who say that you are the witnesses of history. Do you think there are others here who have not come forward? And what would you say to them?
그런 분들도 물론 이제 뭐 자기네들도 이제 내놓기가 부끄럽고 해야 돼요.
Grandma Park, do you want to fight to get Japan to apologize, or do you think it's too late?
너무 지레 갔다. 오늘 줄때 내일 줄때 뭐 죽을 때 내가 이 가만히 줘.
그러니까 이런 사람들이 엄연하게 않고도 말 한마디 못하고 있는 이런 사람들을 대신해가지고도 내가 열심히 더 앞장서가지고 해결에 나서야 된다고 생각합니다.
Grandma Park, Grandma Lee says you should speak up. Do you want to speak up?
똑같이
해야죠.
해야지.
마음으로라도 움직이지 못해도 마음으로라도 하겠습니다.
마음이라도 해야지. 이까지 오시느라고 날 받으시고 참 복 많이 받고 오늘도 사세요. 복 많이 받으세요.
땡큐.
감사합니다. Thank you.
With the South Korean presidential race just months away, Grandma Lee wants to make an apology for the Comfort Women, a key election pledge for all the candidates. So it's an early start, travelling north to the capital, Seoul.
You tired? Oh. Who are we going to see in Seoul? What are you going to say to them?
심상정 여태까지 뭘 했노 좀 뭐렇게 해야 되겠어요. 좀 뭐를 그래야 되겠어요. 여태까지 뭘 했느냐고.
Please make sure
You okay?
have all your belongings with you when leaving the train.
So we've just arrived at Seoul Station and Grandma Lee has met Phyllis. We're being whisked straight off to the National Assembly to meet one of the presidential candidates in the next election.
In 2015, under pressure from America, the South Korean and Japanese governments signed a deal to resolve the issue of sexual slavery. Japan expressed remorse for the suffering it caused and set up a compensation fund. But Grandma Lee and other survivors were furious. Nobody had ever consulted them. She says they don't want money, but for Japan to take legal responsibility for its war crimes.
대선 당시에 모든 대선 후보들이 2015년 한일 위안부 합의를 파기하겠다고 약속을 했었습니다. 5년이 되어 가는데 지금 어떻게 됐냐? 심상정 정부는 진정한 사과 없는 월권 합의는 결코 인정하지 않을 것임을 이 자리에서 다시 한번 약속드립니다.
난 한 번도 못 만났거든요. 근데 약속을 해야 돼.
어떻게 이렇게
이것도 하고 해주세요.
네.
이거는 해야 됩니다.
Though they all like to be photographed with her, Grandma Lee endorses none of the candidates. She wants all of them to support her. Next, she's off to see the leader of the main opposition party. But her frustration with politicians, especially the government, is starting to boil over.
국회의원 하면 뭐 합니까? 뭘 했습니까? 지금 30년 동안에. 할머니들 다 돌아가시고 또 한 남은 저희 할머니들 다 돌아가시기를 기대는 이 국회의원 그런데도 부족해서 2015년 합의가 왜 그게 옳은 합의라고 얼마든지 할 수 있습니다. 일부 안 끊고 가도 저하고 정부에서 가면 되는 일입니다. 이것도 못합니까?
내가 대통령이 됐으면 벌써 해결했을 텐데.
The South Korean government told us it will give careful consideration to referring the case to international courts. The Japanese government declined to comment, but maintains the 2015 deal has resolved the issue.
Almost 80 years after Grandma Lee was taken to that Japanese comfort station in Taiwan, who knows whether it's even possible to recover from that kind of trauma? But for all the support she seems to get from South Korean society, politicians, the statues they put up around this land, she is all too aware that time is running out. And it seemed to me, throughout my time with her, that whenever her emotions have been so close to the surface, she is upset about that as much as she is the original outrage.
Before saying goodbye, Grandma Lee is taking me to a place that's special to her. A statue of Hak-sun Kim, the first survivor of wartime sexual slavery to speak out in 1991. She's depicted with 3 girls. Grandma Lee has come to renew her pledge to fight for all those for whom it's too late to say sorry.
잘 있었어요. 학순 씨, 내가 해결할게요. 언니가 시작했잖아. 해결할게요. 봐주세요.